And there you go. That's a massive win for Anthropic. I predict that in no time, we're going to see them be friends with the government again, and it's going to be like nothing ever happened. So these are the latest developments in the battle between the Pentagon and Anthropic. If you remember well, Anthropic had enforced some red lines and refused to go forward with the contract the way it was drafted, and the Pentagon retaliated by designating them as a supply chain risk and literally blacklisting them from all of the government agencies. But it turns out they're not above the law. And the federal judge found that it was quite likely that Anthropic would win their case on the basis that the government retaliated against Anthropic because they exercised their First Amendment right and said they were worried about safety, etc. And in a previous video, I actually did say that I thought that was their strongest claim. There you go. Follow me. And this was part of a preliminary hearing, by the way, so that's not the final verdict. But honestly, it seems like the judge is pretty convinced. There's even a passage that's pretty funny where we learn that the judge had asked the government's lawyers why Pete Hegseth tweeted about Anthropic being blacklisted, even though there's literally no legal basis for him to do that. And the government's lawyers agreed that that was the case and then said they had no idea why he did that. Then the judge was like, okay, so will you take that statement back then? And they were like, no, sorry, we can't do that. I love it. Now you might ask, what does that mean for the future? The preliminary injunction only starts to have effect in 5 days, so the government could technically appeal that decision, but honestly, I think they have no shot. And the more likely outcome is actually that they just settle pretty quickly, because some news have been coming out that Anthropic has a very powerful model that is really good at cybersecurity and cyber defense, and the government is rethinking their deal with OpenAI and might want to go back to Anthropic. So in terms of hypocrisy, no comments, but I think at least Anthropic is going to be safe from the designation and the blacklisting, and so they're probably going to conclude a new deal, and we're going to see what red lines are left in there.